Welcome to Discussing Dad Life, where we break down bullshit so you don't have to. I'm Void. This is No. And let's go.
All right. Lead us off there, Boudreaux.
All right. Well, first things first.
Welcome to Main Event Mondays.
Yeah. And how do you say her name? Diane?
Diane Feinstein.
Never mind. I was going to say something else. I'm tired.
Frankenstein?
Yeah. I mean, she passed away. Condolences for the family.
Yeah, I think she passed away Thursday night or Friday morning.
Yeah, something like that.
At the ripe old age of 90.
Mm-hmm.
So, condolences to the family. It's sad when anyone dies. I mean,
yeah, that sucks, dude.
I didn't particularly care for her.
Likewise.
But it's
What
still
are you
sad
gonna do?
when people die,
Yeah.
I do think it's a prime example as to why we need age limits.
Yes.
Because, she was also the one where she was gone from the Senate for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And then she came back and she literally had no idea that she was even gone.
Well, I saw a video about that when she came back, or I think it was when she came back. Her little secretary or whatever, her assistant had to tell her how to vote.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
No, it's not. So,
Those Dems, man.
And Newsom's going to go ahead and probably select another senator here shortly
Good
to
old
get him placed.
die-hard Democrat.
Yep. So.
But what do you do?
Yep. Okay, moving off of that one. Let's hard segue into the kids issues, right? So there's a few different kids issues that we're going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them ties directly into, two of them. One ties directly into immigration, which will allow us to move into the next one. So let's start off with the missing kids in Ohio.
Yeah, so I was, dinking around online, obviously. And
as we do.
Yeah, as we tend to do. And came across this video, and nobody's really talking about it, but there's over 1,000 or more kids missing in Ohio, just gone.
Yep.
Kidnapped, vanished. But where are the thing that really bugs me, where are the parents? Like,
well, so the video you sent me, I watched it, and that was one of the big highlights that came out of that was like none of the parents are saying anything, right?
Yeah, what the? Yeah.
So I'm just like, I know you're going to go down a lane, so let's just go ahead and get it out the way and see what's going on.
Well, I mean, just look at all the kids that are missing still in Maui.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm sure some of them perished in the actual accident itself, which is freaking horrible. You know what I mean? But then you got all these elites and the conspiracy theory about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That for what is it called, chromium or whatever, that they're taking these kids and they're using them, they're abusing them. But then there's also the, if you don't want to go that far down the conspiracy lane, there's also the Sound of Freedom.
Yep.
Scenario that they're actually kidnapping these kids. And
I'm going to segue there. So we know that the elitist senator, I can't remember his name right now, Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney came out publicly and said he's no longer going to be running for Senate or re-election in the Senate.
It's not a bad thing.
Which is not a bad thing. But I did find it hilarious when he did put it out there that the Republican Party is not the same party. He basically attacked the populist movement inside the Republican Party and said, this is no longer the party what I represent. And I'm just like, yeah, that's because you're an elitist freaking bureaucrat who wants to basically suck the taxpayers dry of all their money.
Oh, God, they do.
So I'm not concerned that Mitt Romney's not going to go into the Senate again. I actually think that's better for our country.
Yeah, it's
not
hurting us at all.
I guess one of the people that are entering to go to fill that void for him is actually the guy from Sound of Freedom, that agent.
Oh, really?
Yep. And I did hear.
I heard some stuff too about that dude.
I've heard that he actually has that nonprofit, that Underground Railroad or whatever. I heard he was actually skimming off it. That like very, very few.
That's not what I heard.
I have no cooperation or anything like that. It was in a conversation and someone was telling me about it. And
I know there's a bunch of shady stuff going on about that whole actual movie and movement, and it's like, I mean, I could see it. I mean, they lie right to our faces, and we just accept it. So I can completely understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, so you remember Liberty Safes? Sorry.
Yeah.
So you remember that whole big thing about Liberty Safe, like getting the FBI getting a warrant and Liberty Safe just caving into it?
Yeah, something like that.
So I guess I did a little. I was having conversations, and I actually was talking with someone who's has a relationship that works at Liberty Safe, and they were actually talking about how the FBI didn't actually issue the warrant to them. They issued it to the guy, and the guy said, "Go ahead and call them because I don't know the code."
See, and the
And I'm just
media
like,
blows
interesting.
everything out of proportion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what you were getting at.
Yeah.
It's
They blew it out of proportion. They made it sound like the FBI went to to this company, and the company just caved. And I was pissed at Liberty
Yeah,
Safe.
that's
and
what
I
I
was
heard.
like, I'm never going to buy a Liberty Safe. Screw that. Come to find out,
The dude gave him permission.
the dude gave them permission. Said, "Yeah, go ahead, give him this code, please."
Man, crooked people on both sides of the aisle.
yeah,
Definitely.
So yeah, 1,000+ kids missing this year alone, I guess. In
Yeah,
Ohio.
thus far. And there's still
was-
however many months left.
There was 45 kids missing in September,
Yeah.
35 in August. Like,
That's a lot of freaking kids. Man.
that's a lot of kids. I mean,
And that was just in one little area.
yeah,
You know?
that's just nuts.
That is, man. Like, why is nobody talking about that? Like, that's the biggest question. Why?
That was the right. There was two parts. Why aren't the parents speaking out against it, and why is this not national news?
Exactly.
Right.
Like, I mean, I think I saw somewhere a statistic like if the kid's not found within the first like 24, 48 hours or something, you're never going to find them.
Yeah,
You know, and like that's sad because these kids have been missing for months now. Some of them, it's
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. Since January.
Yeah, I would lose.
So I would like to know if the 1,000+ kids over the course since the beginning of the year, so basically 9 months, have any of those kids been located, or is it right? It might be just a reporting issue. Like 1,000 kids were disappeared,
But they found some.
but they found like 890 of them.
Yeah.
Right, because that changes the scope of this as well.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't have that info.
No,
right
we
now.
don't. We just know that according to the news that you guys have seen on. Well, no, I guess one news channel played that in Ohio, and it was the only one, and that's where I found that video that I showed you, and it was like 1,000+ kids, but no. How's that not on national news? Like,
Yeah.
we need to come together and try to find these kids.
Well, because national news has to focus on race divisions.
Yeah,
right? That's plain and simple. I was having another conversation, and it was actually about race divides in the United States and about how policing targets specifically black people. And I'm just like, well, no, that's not right. Right? There's an authoritarian element in policing that is bad for everyone. It's not a race element that's the issue. It's the authoritarian element that's the issue.
Yeah.
And they were adamant that it was because they were black. And I started giving statistics on it, and they're just like, well, it would make sense though that white people. I'm just like, yeah, more white people. However, if you put it into percentages and proportionality,
yeah.
white people are still higher than the black population.
That's what I think I read that somewhere actually, and you're not wrong.
That's not saying that there isn't an issue. The issue is trying to say there is an issue, but it's not along racial lines. Stop making it along racial lines. Because I can support you on trying to do some police reforms and trying to make some things better. But if you sit there and say it's only because of black people, it makes it hard for us to freaking have an agreement because you're focusing on something that's not actually the issue.
Yeah, you're focused on race, which is your whole argument.
Yes. So, yeah. Getting a little off topic on that one. But let's go ahead and pull up the reaction for the other portion of the kids,
yeah.
Right, so lead us into this because you were the one who shared this with me.
I just came across it, and I don't know how much validity is to it or anything like this, but it does bring up a really good discussion. So I figured discussing dad life, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. So real quick before we get into that, I apologize. It is fly season, and I have a broken window that is getting replaced today.
Yeah, so if you see us doing this,
it's because I just got a crap ton of flies in my house right now. I got to get the window replaced and then get some bug bombs going on, basically. Get the spiders and flies out.
Anyways, all right, let's. Can we play the video, please? I think we're set up. The new system's kind of cool, but we're running into some problems.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Whoa there, Finger Blaster. Where you going? Don't scroll. You're going to want to hear this crazy story about Walmart.
Did you just say finger
I
blaster?
don't know if you actually heard the story yet about the employee who was speaking out on this, but allegedly, my opinion, fake news. It's just entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, that's the
and
thing is
you
this
can decide
guy,
in the
I guess,
comments
used
what
to
you think.
work for them.
Really?
And look who's interviewing him. That guy's really accredited.
I have no idea who that is.
That's Tucker Carlson's best friend, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So my job was, I did work there, but my job was to take kids out of those facilities.
He's saying
hand
his
them
job
off
was literally to take kids out of
sponsors
Walmart.
of
Yeah.
factory.
So can you walk me through that process? So you're an employee, you get what do you get, an email? Do you get a text message that says, Carlos, on Tuesday, we need you to take these children to their sponsor family in Florida? And how did that process unfold? Can you explain that?
So yes, we would get text messages, we would get phone calls at 7 p.m. at night, 6 p.m. at night.
That's crazy, dude.
Saying, hey, we have a trip out tomorrow. Can you make the trip?
Aureliano.
I say
Ariano?
yes.
Ari.
I get, and later on in the night, I get
Butchered
a
that
report
name.
time for the following morning. You get a 5 a.m. report time, 4 a.m. It's always in the dark because they don't want us picking up these kids in the day where people can see us.
Wow.
And
Yeah, dude.
I would get for example, hey, 4 a.m. and
I saw this and I instantly had to send it to you. I was like, what is going on? Because, like I said, the guy that doing the interview, he's got, some weight to him.
Yeah.
I was like, he wouldn't just pull this up on for nothing. At least you would think he wouldn't. And we don't need to watch the rest of the video. That's fine. I mean, we kind of get the gist of what was going on. But
Yeah. It's basically showing that, hey, first off, I didn't know Walmart offered shelters.
neither did I.
So that was news to me. I have not confirmed that third party yet, so I'm
Not
just
yet.
going off of this. But so Walmart shelters kids.
Mm-hmm.
Then in these shelters immigrants, right? So
Yeah.
if we were to continue out, he actually is talking about how the coyotes that are bringing these children across
Mm-hmm.
actually know like certain phrases and everything and how
Yeah.
the system works on our side of the border.
Yep.
And he actually alludes to NGOs actually propping this up. And
Yeah.
for those who don't know, there has actually already been evidence put on there's one other media news source that's been doing this. They've been tracking the caravans and stuff like that, and they're actually being supplied by NGOs.
Oh.
Right. So
Yeah.
this is a very well-funded and well-organized movement to get all these immigrants into the United
That's
States.
crazy, man.
And then on top of that, then you have the Biden administration who is
helping them.
disregarding all of our immigration
Yeah.
laws in order to let people actually into the country.
Yes.
So
It's just a breeding ground for this type of behavior.
it is. I mean, it's a green light. And there's been countless people that have been interviewed across the border on their way up, and they're asked, "Why are you coming?" "Oh, Joe Biden basically is
Yeah.
giving us the green light to come." So this isn't conspiracy stuff. This is
fact.
legit happening. So this is actually going to be the point of the segue into the other issue that's going on out in New York.
Yep. This
So
is
New
all
York,
you.
New York is actually, I believe it is $1 billion. You were saying $3 billion,
I
but
thought it was 3 million, 3 billion.
no, it's $1 billion. It's at
It's in the
least
billions,
$1 billion.
yeah.
It's not millions. It's billions of taxpayer dollars are actually being funded for the next 5 years in order to house in and make sure that these illegal immigrants that are coming in are taking
Taken care
over New York are taken care of on the taxpayer's dollar.
Yeah.
The issue that I'm having with this is
we
Staten
go.
Island actually went ahead and stepped out and protested against
And
the
then what
immigrants coming in. And the police came in and arrested all of them. So U.S. citizens are paying for illegal immigrants
Yep.
and then being arrested for simply not agreeing with paying for them.
Well, it's like what we were talking about earlier. What happened to the First Amendment? Don't we have the right to protest as long as it's not violent?
No. The left has the right to protest. If you disagree with anything the left does, you are a domestic terrorist.
Or, yeah.
Right? They're
Racist.
going to throw everything they can at you to shut it down because they have a movement they're trying to do.
Yeah, they have a goal to achieve.
So it's pretty sad. At the same time, New York voted for this, so you I don't feel too
but
bad
it's-
for them.
I don't feel
right?
bad for the state itself, but in general speaking, as an American, like, this is bullshit.
Right. I feel the same way you do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it has to get to a point where you guys are the ones that voted for this. You guys get to live in it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying,
You know-
and I don't see it very far off or far fetched to come to the conclusion that pretty soon there's going to be another outcry. I mean, the people are going to get pissed, and they are going to voice their opinions one way or another.
I don't think it's going to happen before the election in 2024.
No, you don't think so?
I don't think it's going to happen before then, right? Because there's a lot of people that still hold out hope that either Trump or Vivek
Somebody's gonna save
or
them?
someone's going to step in and actually start writing this ship.
I don't know, man. Something has to change.
But at the same time, so I'm a firm believer if Trump makes it back in, the left is going to go apeshit crazy. So I think there might be a possibility for something popping off then. I think if Trump doesn't make it and Biden or whoever they get to replace
whomever.
Biden makes it in, I think the right's going to go apeshit crazy.
Yeah, either way.
I don't foresee how we can actually tone everything down.
No, they've pushed too far, and enough people have taken enough shit. I would imagine.
And the sad part is back in the original Revolutionary War when we were fighting against Britain trying to gain our independence from the crown, we had a very powerful overseas ally that hated England.
Yeah.
Which was France.
Yep.
So France didn't do it out of the kindness of the heart because they wanted us to be independent of the crown. They wanted to stick it to the crown.
Yeah, I mean, it helped us.
Right? Which ended up helping us, granted our freedom. But nowadays, let's say it's the elitist, the leftists, versus the populist right.
The common folk.
There is no one to come and help the populist right out anymore.
No.
Britain's not going to do it. France ain't going to do it.
Fuck no.
There are no outside allies to help support that movement and possibly winning that, right? So,
well, I'm sure Russia or China, they would love to see the,
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure
they'd help one side.
Well, we already know that Hunter Biden and Joe Biden are in bed with China.
Yes.
China wants the U.S. destroyed.
So there you go.
It makes sense why Biden is doing the policies he's doing.
He don't give a shit.
He doesn't care. He's getting paid from China. Yeah. China wants us destroyed. Biden's like, fuck it, let's destroy the United States because I get a bag.
It's so sad that somebody can put a price on that. You know what I mean? Like, where the fuck are your balls, dude?
I don't know. Which is why I'm in complete support of the inquiry currently going on for impeachment. My personal thought was I never understood how people could vote for Biden. I understood people hated Trump. They didn't vote for Biden. They voted against Trump. That's what it was.
That's exactly what it was.
Because no one in their right mind would look at that guy's record and know the things that he's been doing that were public even before the election was going on.
Yeah.
And actually vote for that guy.
What was it, the 84 crime bill?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah,
that was horrible.
It's sad to see where we are as a country. But, I mean, if people would get together, we can change this.
Yeah. So, we need to get together. We need to be able to change these things. The immigration, I understand why people want to come here, but we need to get our laws. We need to first respect our laws, and then we need to actually have our Congress.
Yes.
Have a Congress that will
enforce the damn thing.
Not enforce it. Take a look at what's wrong with it and then freaking modify it to make it easier, to make it more modern.
Well, they can modify everything they want, but if they're not going to enforce the laws that they make, then it does. You know what I mean?
AOC, that whole clip that came out when AOC was questioning the Border Patrol, the head of Border Patrol under Donald Trump, that whole thing where she was saying they have committed or they have broken no laws, and he literally had to sit there and cite which freaking law they were breaking
by entering the country illegally, like they were breaking the law right there.
Exactly. So, AOC is a very popular icon on the left, but she doesn't even understand the rules and laws. Yet we somehow elect her into Congress.
She reminds me of a pissed off Chihuahua. It really does.
Oh my gosh!
You can see it, can't you? Now that I said, you're not going to forget it.
Freaking what's the primetime? Alex Stein, primetime Alex Stein, right? That guy. Did you ever see the one where he's catcalling her outside on the Congress steps?
I heard about it though.
He's always talking about how she is his favorite big booty Latina.
Oh God!
Right? Like I'm just like,
horrible.
Oh my God, dude, you are such a troll, dude. It's hilarious. And the funny thing is as much as I like to rag on AOC does have some really good things. So she did reach across the aisle and actually worked with the Republicans because she is a little bit more of a populist base.
Okay.
She's very socialist, and for his bad part is socialism. There are populist trends in socialism.
Yeah.
So that actually allowed her to reach across the aisle with I believe it was Matt Gaetz, and they worked on
I remember them
trading.
working together.
They worked on a bill to actually prohibit Congress from inside trading.
I think I remember hearing about that actually.
So as much as I'll rag on her, I'll also give her props on doing the right things in some situations, right?
Yeah, well, there's right and wrong. You know what I mean? Good and right, or good and bad in everything.
Yeah.
So props to that.
So if we're gonna pick on someone, I always like to try giving out the positives that they do too. Right?
Yeah.
So you're ugly as hell, but you're funny as hell.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Got a Mexican jumping bean belt into my nose.
Okay, so
All right.
this is a great way to segue because we're talking about potential war in the United States between the left and the right, between the populists and the elitists.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have a multi-cultural democracy inside of a constitutional republic, which is what we're currently going through. You have the Democrats who are multicultural democracy versus the rights who are the
Traditional.
constitutional republics, right?
Okay.
That can possibly lead to civil unrest and potential civil war, right?
I mean, that's what it looks like we're on the verge of.
But then we have international issues such as the Russia invading Ukraine, China positioning itself to invade Taiwan, right? We have a lot of these issues. And then on top of that, you just told me about Britain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess it's official. Britain, or the UK, however you want to word that, they just officially sent troops to Ukraine. And I had a news article, but I forgot to give it to us prior. But and then I guess Ukraine used some of their missiles or something to attack Russia.
Okay.
And Russia was like, well, that's considered an act of war.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, if they didn't already send troops, like, it was bound to happen is what I was getting at. You know what I
Okay.
mean? He was already looking at it as he was attacked by them, and at least from the news articles and stuff that I saw. So it's just getting worse and worse every day. You wake up, and I know that, like, the media uses that as like a fear tactic, so I try not to let it bug me so much.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like, how can you not pay attention to this and try to keep, you know what I mean, prepared, at least mentally, for what could very well possibly happen, you know?
It is interesting that Americans got so invested in the Ukraine war.
Yeah.
And I will use this as a transition because one thing I've not been very fond of is the American taxpayer funding the war in Ukraine.
Definitely.
And now it's actually been shown that not only are we funding the war in Ukraine, we're actually funding the small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's just another example of how our corrupt bureaucratic politician class is sucking the taxes out of everyday Americans,
Yeah.
and then not caring about what they're actually wanting and distributing that money elsewhere.
Yeah.
So we have so many issues going on internally that we should not be funding these external activities until we can get a handle on our own
Until we
internals.
pull our head out of our ass.
Right. So, yeah, it's just nuts that the taxpayers are literally paying like half their salary to the government, and the government is basically saying, we don't care about what you need.
Yeah.
We care more about illegal immigration. We care more about what's going on in Ukraine. We care more about all these other things. And then at the same time, not even caring about the things that should be cared about overseas, and letting China take over major trade all through Africa, all through the Middle East, letting Russia expand down in there. America is on a decline.
Oh, yeah. Fast, too.
And it's all due to Joe Biden's failed leadership.
Yeah. 100%.
So, I shouldn't say all Joe Biden's. It's just his administration is directly responsible for
Yeah.
all of it. But then you still have the political class who could care
Yeah.
less about all of us, right? So that's left and right. Don't
get what you're saying.
don't think I'm just dogging all leftists here.
No.
The majority of the right is in the same freaking boat. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
Mitch
there's just as
McConnell
many- yeah.
is the same goddamn way. You know, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Excuse me.
Frog in his throat.
A frog, man. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was fun, interesting, kind of.
There's just
touched
so
a lot
much,
of,
dude, going on this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it nuts. I mean, we have our political class being aged out. I mean, it's the oldest freaking political class that we have currently. We need to put some limitations on the top end of the age group. Get some fresh blood in there. Get some newer ideas.
Oh, they
in there.
do. They got AOC.
Yeah. And then we got all this war and stuff going on, where the economic crisis. There's a lot just moving in this leading up to this new election cycle, and it all going to come.
What are your
into play.
predictions for the election?
Oh, so RFK actually made a bid is looking to run independent now because he's not getting. The Democrats have done an excellent job of shutting him out because they don't want RFK to run, which sucks because RFK is a much better candidate.
He's probably the best one out of the people that are running right now.
Well, the only one running is Biden. You got Newsom kind of hanging out on the wings, but Newsom's. I mean,
He hasn't announced. I bet you he announces it soon.
American Horror Story. Is it American Horror Story? American Psycho.
Okay.
That dude reminds me of the character from American Psycho.
Okay. All right.
Whatever. Sorry. Anyway, but yeah, you have him hanging out on the wings. You have talks of Michelle Obama jumping in, which I don't think she's going to do because as soon as the spotlight comes on her, people are just going to notice she's really.
A dude.
Well, I didn't say that, but just a horrible person. I mean, she basically kowtowed a bunch of crap. I mean, you remember that whole like healthy snack and everything. I mean, that she's super racist. She wants racial divides.
Oh, yeah.
She wants segregation. She wants white people fucking out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how else to phrase it. Basically, what she wants, she hates white people. So she hates white people. It seems like she hates anyone that's not black. Let's just put it that way.
Fair.
That's what the things that I've seen and how she's come across.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can take it.
That's pretty bad.
So yeah,
Try
we
not
got
to
all.
pay attention to her too much.
So we got all this movement on the left hand side. They don't want RFK, so RFK is going to run independent. And then remember when Ross Perot did this?
No, remind me.
So I think it was Bush and Clinton were going up against each other. Ross Perot jumped in out of nowhere, and he basically sucked
Votes from both of them.
votes from both of them, but mainly Bush. So Clinton won, right? So people were just pissed about that back when that happened. But at the same time, I'm just like I'm a proponent of having more
Parties.
So
Maybe
right?
Roseanne will run with the green vote again.
Maybe. But so if I remember right on the Bush Clinton Perot,
Yeah.
Perot got I want to say like 13 or 14%, something like that. Bush got like 38%, and then like fucking Clinton got like 43 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So Clinton won, but with only 43%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So he wasn't like this overwhelming landslide. So there's thoughts if RFK does this, he's more likely going to pull votes from the Biden side
Section.
than the Trump side, right? Because Trump supporters are going to vote for Trump no matter what. I
Yeah,
mean,
they're loyal.
you remember when Trump said I could kill someone on 5th Street and they'd still vote for me?
I
Right?
remember that.
Right?
Fucking Trump, dude.
He says the stupidest shit, but he's not wrong. Like,
No?
his base will continue to support him. So
I don't know if that's I like Trump. I want to, you know what I mean? I want to think that he's going to be this great savior and all that. But I don't know, like that kind of thinking is okay. You know what I mean? Like,
it's obviously not okay. He's
making a joke. I get it.
I wouldn't even say it was a joke. He was just very colorfully explaining how much people support him because of how like relatable he is.
Yeah.
I guess, right? So dumbest probably way, but
Because you know that
that's
they're
always
just going to take what he says and twist it, man. That's why I'm like, God damn it, Trump.
well, that's Trump's Achilles
know,
heel, right?
I know.
He says things in the stupidest way to make it so everyone.
He keeps giving them like.
He's his own worst
breadcrumbs.
enemy.
I know, dude. I know. That's all I'm saying. It's like, God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, did you watch the primary debate, the second one?
No, I did not actually. I was really busy.
So, I watched it, and I will honestly say the winner of that debate was Donald Trump, even though he wasn't even in it.
Orale.
But it was a shit show for sure.
Yeah, I think that's what you were telling me.
The only DeSantis did good.
I thought he dropped out.
No, he's still running. He's polling number 2,
Oh.
right behind Trump. He's the second highest behind Trump.
Okay.
He came out of his shell. His charisma was up quite a bit than the
better.
first one. So there were some good things on there from him. The bad part about it is he decided he was going to attack Trump and basically just fed fodder to the Democrats to sling at Trump. And I'm just like, you didn't do the Republicans any favor there.
Yeah,
bud.
did
And
no
you're
justice.
not gonna. You're not the guy to get over Trump right now.
I don't think there
Vivek's
is
possible.
anybody.
I think Vivek could do it.
You think?
I think if Trump, I think the only way it would happen is if Trump said, hey guys, with all this going on and these guys coming after me, you know what? I want to step back, but we know this ain't going to happen because Trump ain't going to ever step back. But if he were to step back and say Ramaswamy's the guy, Ramaswamy.
So
would
he
get it in
could
a heartbeat.
take it if he got the support of Donald Trump.
Yeah, and I don't think Ramaswamy is the only one I think Trump would actually ever support. But we all know that Trump's too egotistical to even step back. Ain't
God
nobody
bless
going to
him.
do it.
God bless his heart.
So Ramaswamy did good. He fended off some attacks fairly decently. He did tone it down. I think a lot of the older people don't necessarily relate to him because he's a little bit more energetic and he just likes to.
Yeah.
So he was kind of more subdued, which played well. Not necessarily what I personally like. I like the young, energetic. Let's abolish the IRS. Let's abolish the FBI. Let's get rid of the Department of Education. Right. I love that stuff. I want a small government.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Who all ran, actually? Hang on. Sorry to interrupt.
So you have
Swami.
Ramaswamy, you have DeSantis, you have Nikki Haley, who
wasn't Tim Scott or somebody?
Tim Scott did amazing.
Did he?
Yeah.
And who else?
I kind of wish Donald Trump would pick Tim Scott as his running
VP.
mate. As his VP, yeah. Tim Scott is amazing. That dude is smart as hell.
I was having high hopes for him, actually.
I think I don't agree with Tim on everything.
Well, you're not going to agree with everybody on everything.
No. I agree more with Ramaswamy. That's why I support Ramaswamy than I do with Tim Scott.
But you think as a VP he would do better?
I think Tim Scott would be a perfect candidate to run with Trump and spearhead our internal issues.
You think?
I think Ramaswamy would be great on foreign policies. Mm-hmm. I think Tim Scott would be great on domestic policies.
You never know, man. Trump could win and then just appoint them all as secretary of something.
Yeah. Make Ramaswamy Secretary of State.
Yeah.
Make Tim Scott VP or something like
Yeah.
that and spearhead.
And you know what? Honestly, that'd probably be the best
Yeah, it might
thing.
be.
Because not only... So do you remember when Joe Biden ran? People were saying how he picked Harris because of her ethnicity.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man.
Well, he said that his VP would be a woman of color.
Yeah. I mean,
he locked himself into that position
Yes.
before even making anything, which is absolutely stupid because you should not be making any decisions based on a gender or a race.
No.
But it goes back to my stance that the Democrats are racist
ooh, he said it.
because every single time they do anything, they care more about what the person looks like than what they're capable of doing,
Yeah. Yeah. Their actual
which is
values and...
complete ass backwards. Content of character. What you're able to do means so much more than what you look like. What you look like means nothing.
Yeah. Same concept as don't make a promise you can't keep.
Yeah. So Nikki Haley's running. She one comment that pissed me off that she made is she was going after Ramaswamy and she's like, I am honestly dumber every time I listen to you talk. And I'm like,
That was ignorant.
that was very ignorant. I liked Nikki Haley. She probably was going to be like my third choice after Trump and Ramaswamy in the party. Or actually, she probably would have been my fourth because Scott was actually above her, and he still is. But she's in my mind, she shouldn't even be running anymore. She is pro stealing money from the taxpayers and giving it to Ukraine.
No.
She's pro freaking all this war and destruction overseas.
Oh, so she's part of the system.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I'm done with her. I thought she did absolutely trash, horrible. Then the governor out of North Dakota, Burgess. That dude, I kind of liked
I know
him.
that look.
I kind of liked him, man. I really hadn't been paying attention to him until that debate, and he came out swinging, and he was good. There should be a cabinet position for him.
Yeah.
If something happens and Trump bows out, I would almost ask that Ramaswamy pick him as a VP. That guy, he did some good things.
I feel like you're playing fantasy football with
I kind of
people.
am. I kind of am, right? Because the Democrats right now, they have no option. They have no bench.
They have nothing.
They have Biden. That's it. It's going to take a miracle for something, or they're going to have to fabricate some way of getting Biden to basically like have a heart attack on stage when Newsom's around and fucking make Newsom like a hero, something like that. Or Michelle Obama or something like that. They're gonna have to basically make a medical emergency, and their next person right there on stage, running out, being the hero. Because if not, there is absolutely no way that they can move off of Biden.
That's not true. They could cheat.
Oh, well. So, yeah. So I am playing a little bit of fantasy football just because I'm not a huge Trump fan, right?
I know you're not.
I know it comes across like I am. I think the guy did good things, but I also think he's an arrogant ass, right?
Yeah.
So you can have these mixed emotions and be nuanced.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right? Do I think he's the best man for the job? Actually, I would have the argument that Ramaswamy's actually a better man for
that's
the
what
job.
you keep telling me.
Does that mean I wouldn't like to see Donald Trump win? I would prefer him winning over Biden.
Yeah.
If the choices come down to Biden and Trump between these two old ass motherfuckers,
Yeah.
Trump all the way. Trump has more validity or vitality. He's way more energetic. He's a comedian. I think
he'll get the job done again.
I can laugh and I can poke fun because he's gonna have material for days to freaking just like, dude, you're an idiot and laugh at. But he also has really good and was able to execute a lot of good things. So while I don't like him personally,
Yeah.
I think he's a dick. When
He
it comes
did
to
do a
doing the
good
job,
job.
he does a good job.
Exactly.
So that's kind of where I'm at. But if we could find someone that's
In between.
in between, that I think that can do just as good, if not better job,
Yeah.
and has younger, more, and that's keeps why I keep coming back to Ramaswamy's, because Ramaswamy is basically Trump Jr., but like he's Trump better, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go. Fantasy football for the Republican team right there.
Who do you guys want?
Dave Smith. He's not even announced yet, but the Libertarian Party.
I haven't
I
even-
would love it. I would love Dave Smith to actually run. Then get Michael Malice as a freaking press secretary. That'd be amazing.
I looked over here like the camera was still there. Did you see that? I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
who do you guys want?
Who do you? Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
idiot.
Look there. It's
Yeah,
right
I
there.
forget it's right in front of me now.
Oh, so I guess we'll cover this on the fan favorite Friday. But yeah, so you guys get to see previews now, and then if you want to check out what we've got accomplished so far, come and check us out on Friday.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Please give us a like, share, and subscribe. Till then, peace.